Donald Trump was just called out by Jerome Powell live on air, and it really took everything for Jerome Powell not to make it seem like Donald Trump had no idea what he was talking about. Folks, I need you to watch this clip.
Yeah. So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added
our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no,
the
but
Martin building.
it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's
So,
not new.
So here's the backstory here. Jerome Powell and Donald Trump. Powell is the chairman of the Federal Reserve. They've been going back and forth for several months now. Donald Trump is very upset about Jerome Powell not reducing interest rates in the United States of America. And the reason why Jerome Powell won't reduce interest rates, well, is because of Donald Trump's tariffs economic policy. And today, as you saw in that video, Trump and Powell were touring the building where the Federal Reserve is located. There are significant renovations going on at the Federal Reserve right now. And Donald Trump has been railing against Jerome Powell. Many in Trump's orbits have been saying it's too expensive. Essentially, everything that is happening with the Federal Reserve renovations are far too expensive, and Jerome Powell needs to answer for it. And that's why you saw in the video Donald Trump try to say that these renovations cost $3.1 billion. But Jerome Powell literally just fact-checked him live on air, and Donald Trump seemingly did not know what he was talking about. He pulled out a piece of paper from his jacket pocket, as you saw in that video. He tried to say that it was $3.1 billion, including a so-called third building, but Jerome Powell noted, sir, that building was built 5 years ago. 5 years ago, he was fact-checked. He was called out live on air, and I don't think he knew what he was talking about. Now, Trump was ridiculed online for this moment. He went on to talk about how essentially if as a real estate developer, someone essentially spent over budget, that he would be a, quote, fireable offense. Watch this moment right here.
Mr. President, does the issue give you any...
As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire him.
Do you think this issue, Mr. President, gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just would like to see it get finished. And in many ways, it's too bad it started. But it did start. And it's been under construction for a long time. It's going to be a real long time because it looks like it's got a long way to go.
He was then asked if he thought Jerome Powell was still a numbskull, which is what Trump had been calling Powell on multiple occasions, and Trump just kind of scurried and walked away.
Mr. President, you think that Jerome Powell's a numbskull?
And that's not all. Donald Trump was also asked essentially whether he would back off on earlier criticisms of Jerome Powell, and he kind of just seemingly motioned to Powell, tapped him, and said that he would like him to lower interest rates.
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
Well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. Other than that, what can I tell you?
Folks, this was overall a very bizarre situation at the Federal Reserve today. It was overall very bizarre to watch Donald Trump alongside Jerome Powell touring these renovations. And at the end of the day, Donald Trump seemingly was much nicer in person than he is on Truth Social when it comes to Jerome Powell. Donald Trump repeatedly on Truth Social berates Jerome Powell, saying how bad of a person he is. There was even talk earlier this year that Donald Trump had written a letter to fire Jerome Powell, according to multiple sources reporting. And now it doesn't seem like Trump is going to fire Powell anymore, But he was played very nicely with Powell in person. He actually put out a Truth Social statement afterwards. I'll read it to you right now. He said, quote, "It was a great honor to tour the renovation and some new construction of the Federal Reserve Building with Chairman Jerome Powell, Senator Tim Scott, and others. It's got a long way to go. Would have been much better if it were never started, but it is what it is, and hopefully it will be finished ASAP. The cost overruns are substantial, but on the positive side, our country is doing very well and can afford just about anything, even the cost of this building. I'll be watching and hopefully adding some expertise. As everyone knows, I renovated the old post office on Pennsylvania Avenue, and it was a roaring success. The total construction cost was a small fraction of the Fed building's cost, and it is many times the size. With all of that being said, let's just get it finished, and even more importantly, lower interest rates." Donald Trump essentially admits defeat, leaving the building where he toured with Jerome Powell, because for many months he was arguing that Jerome Powell could theoretically be fired for spending too much money on these renovations. And now Donald Trump seemingly is giving up on firing Jerome Powell, instead saying, you know what, let's just deal with these renovations, let's finish them up as soon as we can, and let's move on. It sounds like a president who got it wrong, a president who was embarrassed live on air, who doesn't have any answers to what Powell said today, and is just giving up. Well, it makes sense. He has much bigger fish to fry, because Ghislaine Maxwell told Justice Department officials a lot today, answering all their questions without invoking any privilege and without invoking any Fifth Amendment right, according to the Associated Press. That's all the news right now. Spread the word and subscribe to support my work. I'll see you soon.